Did you know that for over 5 decades, MASH has stood as one of television's most beloved series, expertly blending dark comedy with raw emotion against the brutal backdrop of war? While the show brought millions to laughter and tears from 1972 to 1983, something entirely different was unfolding behind the scenes, far from the camera's gaze. Now, at 89, Alan Alda, forever etched in our memories as Hawkeye Pierce, has finally broken his silence. And what he revealed has left fans reeling with surprise and a new understanding of their beloved show. Tensions, heartbreaking breakdowns, bitter power struggles, and one pivotal moment that nearly ended the show altogether define this hidden narrative. This isn't the nostalgic MASH you remember, this is the raw, unvarnished truth about what truly happened behind the camera, finally exposed after half a century of silence. Prepare to have your perceptions challenged as we delve into the untold story of MASH's turbulent journey. When MASH first started in 1972, it was initially conceived as a true team effort. Alan Alda, Wayne Rogers, and McLean Stevenson were all meant to be equal stars, each playing equally important roles in the 4077th Mobile Army Surgical Hospital. The show was based on the successful 1970 movie and was set during the intense Korean War, skillfully mixing sharp comedy with serious, poignant moments about the harsh realities of war and the enduring bonds of friendship forged in adversity. Alan Alda and his co-stars, Wayne Rogers and McLean Stevenson, initially worked well together during the first 3 seasons, forming a cohesive unit. However, over time, subtle tensions began to develop as Alda's character, Hawkeye Pierce, grew exponentially in popularity, undeniably disrupting the original equal standing of their characters. What had started as a seemingly happy and harmonious group of actors slowly but surely became something far more complicated and fraught with underlying friction. In the very beginning, everyone on set genuinely got along, sharing a common excitement about being part of something new and distinctly different on television. The show was truly unlike anything else airing at the time, daring to tackle serious topics like war, death, and profound friendship, yet always doing so with its signature, poignant humor. The actors were acutely aware that they were making something truly special and groundbreaking, a show that resonated deeply with viewers. But as the show steadily grew in popularity and critical acclaim, things on set inexorably began to change. Alan Alda's character, Hawkeye Pierce, quickly became an undeniable fan favorite. People absolutely loved his quick wit, his deeply caring nature, and his unshakable strong beliefs about right and wrong in a morally ambiguous world. Consequently, the writers started giving him more lines, more significant storylines, and increasingly pivotal scenes, shifting the focus. This growing prominence for Hawkeye, however, did not sit well with some of the other key actors. Wayne Rogers, who portrayed the sardonic trapper John, and McLean Stevenson, who played the lovable but often bumbling Colonel Blake, increasingly started to feel sidelined and overlooked. They had originally signed contracts believing they would be equal stars, but now it unmistakably seemed like Alan Alda was becoming the undisputed main character of the series. The tension wasn't solely about screen time, it was also undeniably about money and professional recognition. As Alan's popularity soared, he began to receive significantly higher pay. He also gradually began to write and direct episodes, which afforded him even more creative control and influence over the show's direction. But these were just the initial ripples, the real problems were only beginning to surface, and they would soon lead to some incredibly major, heartbreaking changes in the core cast, altering the show forever. The first truly major shakeup occurred dramatically at the end of the 3rd season. McLean Stevenson, who had brought so much warmth to the role of the lovable but often bumbling Colonel Henry Blake, made the difficult decision that he had simply had enough. He keenly felt that his character wasn't being developed properly or given enough depth, and that Alan Alda was receiving the lion's share of attention and creative focus, leaving him in the background. McLean's departure was handled in a way that profoundly shocked viewers and became one of television's most memorable, and heartbreaking, moments. Instead of simply having his character transfer to another base, the writers made the audacious and devastating decision to kill him off. In one of the most emotional and unforgettable episodes in TV history, Colonel Blake's plane was tragically shot down on his way home from Korea. The news was delivered with gut-wrenching finality at the very end of the episode, leaving viewers absolutely stunned and heartbroken. What many dedicated fans didn't know at the time was that the other actors themselves weren't told about Blake's shocking death until they were actually filming that very scene. The raw tears and genuine shock you see on their faces in that iconic moment were completely real, a testament to the unexpected news. Alan Alda later recalled that this was undoubtedly one of the hardest and most emotionally draining moments in the entire show's long history for everyone involved, a true test of their professional and personal composure. Wayne Rogers was also increasingly unhappy with how things were progressing, feeling a similar sense of marginalization. He strongly felt that his character, Trapper John, was being consistently pushed to the side to make more room for additional Hawkeye-centric storylines, diminishing his own role. Consequently, at the end of the 4th season, Wayne made the difficult decision to leave the show as well. Unlike McClane's character, Trapper John was simply transferred away, and the audience never got to see him share a final, poignant goodbye with Hawkeye, leaving that bond unresolved on screen. The simultaneous departure of these two major, beloved characters could easily have spelled the end of the entire show. But instead, it unexpectedly gave Alan Alda and the writing team a pivotal chance to bring in new faces and tell exciting new stories, refreshing the series. Mike Farrell joined the cast as B.J. Honeycutt, Hawkeye's new best friend and roommate, filling a crucial void. Simultaneously, Harry Morgan came in as the new, stern but lovable commanding officer, Colonel Potter, completely reshaping the dynamics of the 4077th. These significant cast changes, surprisingly, actually made the show better in many important ways. The new characters brought fresh energy, different types of humor, and new emotional depth to the ensemble. But they also solidified, beyond any doubt, that Alan Alda was now clearly and unequivocally the singular star of the show, the central figure around whom everything revolved. However, not everyone on set was entirely happy with these evolving changes, and some cast members continued to quietly struggle with Alan's growing influence and creative control. One of the most difficult and often fraught relationships on the MASH set was between Alan Alda and Gary Burghoff, who played the innocent, lovable, and incredibly sensitive Radar O'Reilly. Gary Burghoff also openly revealed that he was going through a painful divorce at the time, and having to balance his intense personal turmoil with his hectic work schedule was immensely stressful and emotionally draining. But he also, unfortunately, had his own issues with different cast members, who sometimes found him difficult to work with and not always easy to get along with, creating friction. Gary was one of the very few actors who had been in both the original MASH movie and the immensely popular TV show, which understandably gave him a special, unique connection to the character and the overarching story. But as the television series continued its long run, Gary reportedly became increasingly difficult to work with, causing consistent problems on set. The problems weren't just about personality clashes, though those certainly existed. Gary's messy, ongoing divorce during the show's run made him deeply stressed and, at times, visibly angry on set, affecting his professional demeanor. In the years following the show's conclusion, Alan began to open up more candidly about what it had truly been like to work on MASH, sharing his personal experiences. He spoke openly about the immense pressures of being the star of such a colossal hit show, the inherent difficulties of working with some of his co-stars, without naming specific names, and the ongoing creative challenges of meticulously keeping the show fresh, relevant, and consistently interesting for an incredible 11 years, a testament to his dedication.